Hey, how y'all doing out there? This is Marv Anthony. I'm back with another segment of my Thursdays Thinking. Now, you know I mean business and it's something serious when I let the main out. I'd like to take a second to thank everybody who's been supporting me and my venue and what I'm trying to do out here and to shift the culture and make a difference. I really thank you. I appreciate each and every comment. I appreciate each and every like and each and every subscription. I love y'all to death. BlackLion organization is looking good on the up and up. We are changing lives and we are helping people with their personal development. Say, you know what I mean?
As humans, we are all born into this world innocent. But as we get older, we deviate away from the person we were designed to be, and it often places us in places and circumstances that are undeserving of us. But as you get older and you go through trials and tribulations, your experiences force you back towards that person you were designed to be. This is called personal development. You realize that nothing else matters except your family, and putting smiles on the ones closest to you, in return putting a smile on your heart. And so when you take that understanding and pair it with the undeniably fulfilling gift of giving, you get one hell of a force to be reckoned with.
One thing that you will never see, something that you will never see, is a pride of lions out in the wilderness, and the lion walks up to a lioness and just paws her in the face, or just bites her, or just attacks her, or disrespects his lioness in any way, shape, or form. That's something you will never witness. You know why? Because the lion knows how valuable the lioness is to him and his pride. Because he understands that without the lioness, he doesn't eat. Without the lioness, his cubs don't get raised properly. I'm not sitting here acting like I got an innocent tongue or that my hands are squeaky clean, because they're not. But I've grown. I've moved forward as a human. And the females in my life will attest to that. I've grown substantially. And it takes a man. And when I tell you it takes a man, it takes a real man to admit when he has engaged in cowardly acts. It takes a man to admit when he has operated like a coward. Because it hurts. It hurts. It goes at... It attacks your morale, it attacks your respect, it attacks your manhood, and it attacks a lot of things that men are not willing to put on the vulnerable table. But a true man and a real man will admit his wrongdoings, his cowardly acts, and his things of the past in order to grow and move forward. And that's what personal development is about. Now, I know a lot of dudes probably cut me right off. They probably click right out of this. Oh, get off of that. Get off of that. Because they're not willing to own it. This is a very touchy subject, so they're not willing to own that, so a lot of dudes leave. But for my men, and I say my men, and that's not a term that I sling around loosely. For my men that are still here, it's okay. You own things and you move forward. And once you own them, and say that you did engage in these acts that weren't right, people will have no other choice but to respect you. And you will have no other choice but to have more respect for yourself. Because what more can a person ask except ownership and growth? Men are extremely quick to disrespect a woman in general. And right now, I'm not talking about race, I'm not talking about age, any of that. I'm just talking about the male gender and the female gender and the respect for that. Men just have a short tolerance with women. They disrespect them, and to me, it's a cowardly act. I've witnessed it from, like when you're incarcerated, if you've ever been locked up, you'll notice the inmates, they'll see a female guard walk past. And it, hey, get out of here, B. Hey, that's my D, B. And disrespect this woman to the fullest extent. Sometimes for no apparent reason. They will disrespect this woman at the drop of a dime. But a male will come in, a male guard, lieutenant, sergeant, somebody will come in, and those same dudes who were being extremely disrespectful to this woman tucks their tails and runs. They run to a cell, or they hide behind a bunk, or they turn their heads and turn into a blind man and act like they don't know what's going on. And this is the most extreme form of cowardly acting that there is, because you're showing that you have a hair trigger when it comes to females. You shoot right off, you attack, you disrespect. But when it comes to a male, your aggression is turned down 10 notches. Now, am I saying that if you disrespect women, you should disrespect men too? Absolutely not. That's how I operated at one point in my life. I thought that because I was willing to disrespect anybody, that it was neutral, it was okay. I thought that because I was willing to disrespect a man and physically harm a man, that it justified my actions of disrespecting a woman. And I couldn't have been more wrong. When these guys in jail do that and you disrespect the women, you don't disrespect the man, it makes you look like a coward. So as I just said, I'm not saying that you should go out and just disrespect men and women equally, because you shouldn't disrespect anyone. But when your disrespect and your vulgarity and your short tolerance and your temperament is that much more extreme for a female, it says a lot about your character, and it says a lot about you as a person. And the sad part about it is, I want to take a moment, and all of my men who are still here with me, I want you to be honest. For all my men who are still here with me, I want you to be honest. I want you to be honest. I want you to think about your darkest times. I want you to think about when you were down and out, times were rough, your confidence was low, your beliefs were low, you were hopeless and helpless. I want you to think about the darkest time in your life, whether it was incarceration, whether it was you just lost a new job, lost a family member, or just going through hard times and depression. I want you to think about that time and really reflect on that time right now. And then look in the corner. It was a lioness in that corner. It was a lioness in that corner. It was a lioness in that corner. It was a female or multiple females in your life that kept you afloat. The female needs to be appreciated. The female needs to be loved, and she needs to be cherished. Again, in the Pride of Lions, the male lion never walks up to the lioness and just disrespects her. Never raises a paw, never shuns or disrespects the lioness in any way, shape, or form, because like I said, he understands how vital and important she is to the pride. Now the male, he handles the brunt, he handles the bulk of the pride. If the lionesses are hunting and they have attacked a piece of prey that is too big and too large for them to take down, he assists and he helps take down the larger prey. He also fights off intruders and protects the pride from other lions, hyenas. I looked into a research study that provided the statistics that were staggering. It said that women in Austria, women in Germany, France, all these other places, basically the three areas that they focused on was Europe, United States, and Canada, and how the women and men feel that the women are properly treated or respected in that country. And I'm only going to give you a few, but out of all of them, United States was dead last. We were dead last. Our women, only 48% felt that they were treated properly or with respect in our country, and only 70% of the men actually felt that we treat them properly and with respect. We're so engaged and so used to and so prone to disrespecting a woman so easily that it almost becomes second nature. Amongst my people and my culture, women are bees. They bees. It's that plain and simple. Women are bees. to a large portion, the better portion of my people. And when I say my people, I mean minorities, African Americans. And see, at first, with the first section I just spoke on, when I just gave you those statistics, I was not referring to any race. But specifically, now I'm talking about with my race, our women are considered bees. Naturally. I'm talking about not just from street dudes, not just from hip-hop rap artists, but from a mainstream. I've seen mainstream working men, blue-collar guys just, yeah, man, I went out, man, it was bees out. I bagged me some bees. I, too, have engaged in this activity. You don't have to pull up your red flags and your hypocrite cards. I, too, engaged in this. I try to better myself every day. My mother, sisters, fiance, and daughters can attest to me. I want you to take on the same challenge of changing and respecting women. They are not bees. Do you know that the hardest thing in this country, we always say it's a black man, it's a black man. The hardest thing, it's neck and neck. It's neck and neck. Because women get disrespected so easily in our country. Not only does a woman have to deal with the race barrier, but a black woman has to deal with the race barrier, and then she also has to deal with the gender barrier. Now, I'm not going to sit here and gauge who goes through the most, which one is worse, but just knows that it's hard being black in America, period. As much as we disrespect each other. So the last thing that our cherishable gender needs is to be disrespected, let alone by the kings who are supposed to be protecting them 24/7. Who are supposed to be protecting them with every bone in our body. There is no legitimate reason, there is no excuse for the fact that the black woman feels like she is the most disrespected, neglected, and unprotected person in our country. And that's a fact. That's a fact. Black women feel as though they are the most disrespected, neglected, and unprotected person in our country. And that's not the sad part. The sad part is that it actually holds merit. It actually can be argued. It actually is this close to being a fact, if not. And God humbled me, you know. For my womanizing ways, He blessed me with a beautiful mother. And I'm not just saying that because it's my mother. My mother is the mother of mothers. He blessed me with a beautiful mother. 2 sisters. He put a beautiful fiance in my life. And then I don't have any sons so far. He gave me all daughters. I have all daughters. So as you can see, God has a way of correcting you. God has a way of setting things up to where He says, okay, you lack in this area, I'm going to put this in your life and I'm going to fix you with that. God has a way of balancing things out. If you have any real manhood in you, if you have any seriousness in you, if you have any morals in you, if you have any real respect and manhood in you, you would take ownership of your wrongdoings and make it your business to not only honor and respect, but to build up your women, to build them up. You are either building or destroying. There is no gray area. You're either building or destroying. So you can't be neutral. You can't be the guy that says, oh, well, I don't disrespect women. I just talk to women. I get their number. We cool with me. I don't disrespect women. I'm just new. You're not neutral. Because if you're not building, you're destroying. There's no gray area. So you take it personally, and you take it as your personal duty to build up women in your community, women around you. Any women you come in contact with, you make it your personal duty to build them up, because it is hard enough on them as it is. The last thing that they need is for a man to be disrespecting them verbally or physically. God forbid. Minority women. Now this blew my mind too, because these statistics are from 2016, so I don't know if they got better or worse. But the African American woman is the last woman to get married, the first woman to get divorced, and has the highest percentage of being widowed. You ain't hear me. You ain't hear what I said. You don't dig it. I said she's the last one to get married. The black woman is the last woman to get married, the first to get divorced, and has the highest percentage of being widowed. She's unappreciated throughout her life. She doesn't get married, and then when she does, she's the first to be left, or her being widowed, which means her husband. That's a whole different story. I don't know why is the black woman the most likely to get widowed? Why is she being left? I don't know. I'll save that for another segment. But she's underappreciated. And then I researched another study that was even more disturbing. It stated that of all women in the world, colored women nurture, cherish, and support their opposite gender more than any other woman in the world, despite being disrespected and neglected the most by her opposite gender. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? I said that colored women cherish, nurture, and support their opposite gender the most, despite being disrespected the most by their opposite gender. Come on, man. Come on, yo. Come on. Come on, man. We got to tighten up. We got to tighten up as a people. We got to tighten up. How is it hip? How is it cool just to disrespect your... How is it cool just to disrespect your woman? How is that cool? How does that fall into place? When did that become the thing to do? How is that a thing? She's in your corner. That mean that you might as well love her and protect her and treat her right. You know why? Because she gonna love you regardless. She gonna love you regardless. You know, when I was incarcerated, I remember talking to a young fella, and I'm talking to him, man. And I noticed how he heavy. He was heavy on the disrespect for women. He was heavy. When the female guards come in, he go right at them. He's nasty. These welfare recipients. They He would disrespect them heavily. And one day, me and him was talking. I'm like, damn, bro. I said, damn, bro. You be going at them. I see how you go at them female. They playing. You don't play with them, huh? He like, yeah, man. They think just because she a woman that I'm supposed to treat her different. Now, mind you, that's my thing. I forgot to notify. For those of my first time or being around me, that's an ignorant notification clap. That's ink. That's INC. And that's the light bulb going off. This ignorant notification clap, that's the light bulb going off. So when somebody say something ignorant, notification of it, and then a light bulb. What's the idea? How do I handle that? You know what I mean? So my ignorant notification. So as soon as he said that, he said they think because they females, somebody supposed to treat them different. You are supposed to treat them different because they are women. You are. They are entitled to a certain amount of delicate handling. They are required a certain amount of respect. But in his upbringing, the way he was brought up, raised, steered, whatever the case may be, whatever played a part in his life, it led him to believe that you treat the opposite sex just like you treat anybody else, any man. No. And then the major part about, as far as the inside went, about men disrespecting women is when the men didn't have heart or any courage when it came to another man. That's when it's sickening. Like I said, I'm not justifying if just because I was willing to disrespect a man that I could disrespect a woman. It's still wrong in a sense. But when you primarily disrespect women and don't have heart when it comes to the same sex as you, it just sends a whole nother message, you know? And I would see that in there. And this is not race-wise or minorities. Or not. I've seen the white boys. I've seen white men in jail a couple times. They get on that phone and they, Becky, just send the money. Just send it, or I'll just send the money. You know, you are a piece of S. I hate your guts. Just send it. And then they get off the phone, and I see him in the corner with a man, and the man slaps him. Pow! Because he's in debt because of drugs or anything like that. He owes money, and he just gets slapped. And I'm like, you were just on the phone being super aggressive, tough, and overwhelming, but you just got palmed by a man. I don't condone violence. I don't justify it. I don't support it. But my point that I'm driving home is, men, we have to check ourselves. We have to check ourselves, man. Especially when it comes to the treatment of the opposite sex. They deserve to be loved. They deserve to be nurtured. They deserve to be handled with care and to be gentle with them. Physically, mentally, and emotionally. Now again, I'm not standing here acting like I am holier than thou. I have engaged in disrespect of women on all levels. I have disrespected women in my past, but my growth is in accepting it, owning it, and bettering myself. Turning your flashlight on bright and bettering yourself and finding a way. That is personal development. That is the beauty of life. That no matter what mistakes you made in the past, no matter what you've done, you can find a different way and change. You can grow. You can alter yourself. Don't get stuck in your ways. You can grow. You don't have to be ignorant. You don't have to be disrespectful. You don't have to be womanizing. You don't have to be insecure for the rest of your life. Did you ever think of that? Did you ever think about that? Second thing I wanted to talk to you about, and it's like a subsidy. It's like a subsidy. I don't know how to say that word. I forgot. And it's almost like a subtopic to what we were just talking about. But I want to talk about it because it's one of those things to where a lot of men are unaware that this is even a thing. And this is even a thing, but it is. And I would like to talk about male privilege. Male privilege. Marv Anthony, what is male privilege? Male privilege is when you feel as though you are entitled to something, or something should go your way or this way, strictly based on the facts that you are a male. That you are a man. Strictly based on the facts that you have a penis and testicles, you feel as though you are entitled to this or to that. That is male privilege. And a lot of us engage in male privilege and are unaware of that we're even doing it. And we're unaware that we are even engaging in this activity. You know, male privilege is a form of abuse. And this hit me like a ton of bricks when I learned about male privilege. It hit me like a ton of bricks because I had been engaging in this activity for years, unbeknownst, and not thinking about the effects that it would have on a female. You know, when you come home and you feel as though you are entitled to the big piece of chicken, because you are a male, you're wrong. When you feel as though you should get the biggest plate, or you should have this first, or this is your seat in the house, or I should have my back rubbed and my feet scrubbed and my whatever. If you feel that you are deserving of these things strictly based on the facts that you are a male, you are wrong. Male privilege is a form of abuse. Now, mind you, if your significant other or your female, if she feels as though out of love and respect for you, she wants to treat you to a bubble bath and rub your back, or she wants to give you the big piece of chicken out of love, that doesn't apply. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. Or if you feel as though you should have these things because you are a hard worker, or because you give out the same love and you just want the energy reciprocated, it doesn't apply. That's different. But if you feel like you deserve these things strictly based on the fact that you are a man, that is male privilege. That's when you're wrong. It's a form of abuse. And I just wanted to leave you with that, because it's one of those things where you'll be engaging in this activity without even thinking. It'll be in your subconscious, and you'll be engaging in male privilege activity unbeknownst to your conscious. You won't even be aware that you're engaging in. In closing, I would like our females to be treated better, man. We have to do better. They deserve better. Have consideration. Have understanding. You don't have to like everything. You don't have to vote for it. You don't have to be for it. But at least have some understanding. Have compassion towards their position or disposition. Know your role as a lion. Know your role in your pride as a lion. And don't say or do anything to the lioness that you wouldn't want said to any lionesses of your pride. Don't say anything to that woman that you wouldn't want to say to your mother. Don't say or do anything to that woman or that girl that you wouldn't want done to your sister or your daughter or your aunt. Because people usually, sometimes we get lost in that. Not my mom, not my daughter, huh? I wish, not my, hey, but you quick to go disrespect somebody else's daughter or somebody else's sister or somebody else's mother. You gonna crash. So the best thing to do is to humble yourself, grow up, man up, and just cherish them for the beautiful, delicate creatures that they are, and take everything that they have to offer. They are the most nourishing, cherishing, and supportive females on the planet of the earth, despite being the most disrespected. So you might as well love them, because they're going to love you regardless. Wow. Wow. You know, I just hope you have a better understanding of me and my organization as well, because I said from day one that Marv Anthony is a speaker. My doctrine is ignorance, injustice, inequality, and sexism. And I speak out against those things in the form of a motivational and enlightening speaker. That's been my description from day one. And that is my description here today. So with that being said, Lioness, let's roar out some of this pain. Let's roar out some of the misunderstandings. Let's roar out the disrespect, the wrongdoings. Men, let's roar out those same disrespects that we give to the women. Let's roar out the male privilege that you feel you're entitled to. And let's roar for a better change. Black lions roar. Ah! 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 I love my gift.